So if you are constantly playing musical chairs with your outlets, you're going to want to see this. So let's go over the TESSAN Tower Power Strip. I'm going to cover all the key features, show you what makes the individual switches so useful, and talk about who this is really for, all to help you make a better informed buying decision. Okay, so this is a tower style power strip with a full 6-layer protection system built in. So it has 12 AC outlets. So you can see 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And then we have 5 USB ports, 3 USB-A, and 2 USB-C. And it comes with a 10-foot flat cable. So we can have a look at the flat cable here. So it's really nice, this design. So it goes flush against the wall pretty much. And the tower design means it sits vertically on your desk instead of just being sprawled across the floor. So let me show you more of what you get here. Okay, so in the box, you just get the power tower, and right out of the box, it feels pretty sturdy. It's solid, it doesn't feel cheap, it doesn't feel like it's gonna break. It is of course still plastic, but there is some weight to it. It's around 1.75 pounds, and it just stays planted on your desk. And it's about 5 by 5 by 8 inches. So it takes up roughly the same desk space as a coffee mug, just taller. And that's really nice because if you're like a tight space, you can have all of these outlets. And then on the bottom here, it has anti-slip rubber, so it stays put even when you're plugging things in and out. Okay, so this is the feature that surprised me with this, is each of the 4 sides has its own independent switch. So that's really cool. So this means you can turn off devices without actually unplugging them. So if you have your monitor, your lamp, and phone charger on different sides, you can kill power to one without affecting the others. So that's really handy to do. So in my experience, this is huge for managing a standby power. So you're not looking for the right plug anymore. You just flip the switch for that side. And it's just really convenient for things like space heaters, or devices you don't want running 24/7. So for example, if you're a content creator, this is actually great for lighting control too. So you have your key lights on one side and your fill lights on the other. You can kill the fill light for a moodier look without reaching behind your setup or unplugging anything. So there's a lot of different use cases for having the option to turn off the specific outlets. One thing to keep in mind is only the switch on the left side of the USB ports controls those USB ports. So the other switches won't affect them. This does need to be on, and then these will work. So again, you get 12 AC outlets, 3, 3, 3, and then 3 USB-A, 2 USB-C. So that's 17 devices you can power at once. 17. For real world use, I mean, you've got enough capacity for your entire desk setup, your computers, your monitors, your lamp, your phone, your charger, your tablet, your speakers, all from just this power strip. So the outlets are spread across 4 sides as you saw. So bulky adapters actually fit without blocking the outlet next to them. So you can see all that space in between. So the output, so just keep in mind that the max output is 1250 watts total. So to put that in perspective, a refrigerator uses around 200 to 300 watts. So theoretically, you could power 3 to 4 refrigerators off just this thing. For typical desk setups with monitors, laptops, everything I mentioned, that's way more than enough. So the USB-C ports here, they're 15 watt max per port, and the 3 USB-A ports are 12 watts max per port. So the USB-C at 15 watts means your phone charges at a decent speed. It's not the fastest, but it's solid for overnight or while you're working. And the USB-A ports are standard speed, good for earbuds, older devices, things like that. And what's nice about this is you can charge multiple phones and tablets without needing a separate wall adapters cluttering up your outlets. Okay, so we have this thing loaded up a little bit. So we aren't using all the outlets right now, but we are using the 3 USB-A, 2 USB-C. So we'll just go over all the devices that are connected. So we have iPad that's charging right now. There we go, see that it's charging. Okay, and then we have this power bank that's charging as well. Then we have the lav mic that I'm using, it's charging. Okay, and then we have these headphones that are charging as well. See the red light right there. And we have this box cutter that's charging. Then we have our Ember mug base charger plugged in, and then we have Alexa plugged in as well, and then we have this battery plugged in as well for the Ring. So you can see it's already pretty loaded up with a lot, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things right now, and it's working perfectly. So if we look at the space that you get in between the plugs, you can see this is kind of a big brick, and we're still able to add another cable in here without it causing any issues between space. So again, that's what's really nice about this tower, is there's enough space in between each outlet. If you look over here as well, you can see two pretty big bricks, and there's still space in between here. So you have no problem at all lining all of these up and filling out all these slots without any spacing issues. And again, we have this one turned on so that all the USB-C and A's will be turned on. We can see the light that is on right here to know that this is charging. So this isn't just a basic surge protector, it actually has 6 layers of protection built in. It has the overload protection, the short circuit protection, a reset breaker, lighting protection, over temperature protection, and fire retardant materials. So what this means in practice is if a storm rolls through and there's a power surge, your devices stay protected. If something short circuits, if something shorts out, the system catches it before it becomes a problem. So I think a lot of people buy power strips without actually thinking about this stuff, but when you've got a computer, a monitor, a phone, all of this plugged in, having that protection actually does matter. Okay, and the cord is 10 feet long with an ultra thin flat plug, only about 0.31 inches thick. And what that means is you can slide furniture right up against the wall and the plug tucks behind it without a gap. So that 45-degree angle design also leaves room for the outlet below it. So again, just to see how thin that is. And the flat plug is actually really useful for things like adjustable beds or recliners. If you've got furniture that moves, a regular plug sticking out would get hit. And with this, nothing sticks out and the furniture can move freely. And honestly, 10 feet is long enough that it's basically like getting a built-in extension cord with a power strip. You're not limited to being right next to an outlet, and it's really helpful in rooms where outlets are in awkward spots. You can put it in a lot of different places. So what do I really like about this? So the individual switches are really useful, and it's not just a gimmick. So the tower design really does save desk space and fits those really bulky plugs, and the 6-layer protection system gives you actual peace of mind, not just some basic surge protection. And the build is quality, it feels solid, and the 10-foot cord is basically like getting a built-in extension cord. One thing that can be improved, the USB charging isn't the fastest. 15 watts on USB-C is fine for most people, but if you need, fast charging, you might still want a dedicated charger for that. So just keep that in mind. So who should get this? If you're someone working from home with a desk full of devices, your monitor, laptop, phone, tablet, this handles all of that from one spot. So there's, no more daisy chaining power strips, which can be dangerous, of course. And also if you're a content creator, the individual switches, let you control your lighting setup without reaching behind everything. Again, that's just one example. You don't have to be a content creator to have that useful different switches for the different outlets, just whatever, you want to have on and off. If you're in like a dorm room, a small apartment where space is tight, the outlets are limited, this tower design and the 10-foot cord give you that flexibility that you just don't get with a regular power strip. So if you're someone who just worries about a storm just frying your electronics, the 6-layer protection, actually addresses that. The lighting protection, overload, short circuit, it's all covered. And if you have an adjustable bed or recliner, the flat plug is actually perfect. Furniture can move without hitting a plug. So furniture can move without hitting a plug sticking out of the wall. So who should skip this? So if you're running high power equipment like multiple space heaters or shop tools, the 1250 watts limit might not cut it. You probably want something rated for higher wattage. But again, for most use cases, this is gonna work really well. Like it has enough wattage. So in my opinion, this is definitely a power strip worth checking out. The individual switches, the tower design, the mix of, the USB-A, the USB-C makes it really practical for desk setups. And if you need to get your charging situation, organized without spending a lot, this is a solid option to consider.